just that to get into the top 3, there's, we'll talk about it in a second, but there's some big dogs that you have to go through.
Okay, so Dallin was already doing individual, which makes my question moot. When he decided to go team, so he was prepping for individual already.
Yes.
Okay, my bad. Poor question. Any thoughts on that team, Mr. Young, Dallin, James, and Jason?
Oh, I think they're going to make some noise. I think they, I have them as a podium finisher. I don't think they can beat the top 2 teams, but, I just think James and Jason will be able to carry Dallin if he's tired. Like the stuff that Dallin does well, they both do the same stuff well.
John, let's play a game. Who's going to do the handstand push-ups?
Hopper.
Who's going to do the pistols?
Okay, they got one workout where it's like not going to be the greatest.
But that one workout. But the problem is that one workout is really good for a lot of the online qualifier teams. And if 10 of those teams beat them on this, they're immediately outside of the podium contention.
10 teams will not beat them at that.
I think that 15 teams beat them on that workout.
I think they get 8th.
Wow. Brian just said something pretty crazy. Is that math true? Brian is saying that if you fall out of the top 10 on any workout, you're no longer in podium contention.
That's how good this field is, I think.
That's representative of a typical field, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. The problem with this, the thing I'm saying for this team, I think all of the teams do have the chance to have a bad workout. And this team's case, the workout I think they're going to do worst on, they're going to do a lot worse on relative to the field, because the field, and by the field I mean 11 through 43, is going to be better at that workout than the workouts the other teams will struggle with.
That's fair, but we've never let Laura Horvath having one bad event ever stop her from being on a podium or anything like that. And she's always got that coming. And I think like the teams are very
look at the games. You could look at the games this year and see that that's not the case. Her worst workout was so much worse than Mal's, and that was the difference between 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, but not 3rd and 5th. I'm saying like she's still going to be better. I don't have them 2nd. There's a reason I have them 3rd.
There's a reason I have them 5th.
Okay.
And it's that workout.
Who's going to do the handstand push-ups for the King BK and friends? Tola Bjorgvin, Carl Gudmundsson, and Con Porter.
BKG.
I'm assuming you have them a lot lower because of Con's recent injury announcement that he made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'd submitted these before I knew about that. I think that if Con actually has a back injury, A, they might replace him on the team, or B, if they do compete with him, that 9th is more appropriate than 4th, given that. If they were healthy coming in, I think this team is definitely a threat for the podium.
But what you just said, with taking that into perspective, that would make the good dudes team 4th for you, and I have them 3rd, and that's not.
Right. It's
almost the same spot.
Right.
I think they'll negate the 42's workout on the 5K run alone.
100%, JR.
Right, but the teams that they're going to be battling with for the podium are not going to do as badly on the 5K run as they will do on the gymnastics workout.
What's his injury? What's Con's injury?
He put a post up on Instagram yesterday or the day before, just saying that his back had been bothering him and limiting his training.
And he's been talking about retiring too, right?
10 minutes.
Talking about retiring too, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Answer me. Hey, Brian, does Tola have to run in that event?
On the 5K?
Yeah.
Everyone will have to do some running, yeah.
Well, him running alone puts King BK and friends out of 4th.
All righty. I do think that team, Zeus and Dogs, Ricky, Tim, and Matt DeLugos also will have some pretty amazing chemistry the same way Dallin, James, and Jason will. I think that those guys, I think Ricky will and Tim and Matt will be really fired up and be able to push through some really dark spots. Tim Paulson is a very fiery. Ricky is super mellow, and Matt's right in the middle, and that's going to be a cool team to watch too. Those guys are going to get at it. Okay, top 3, top 4, top 3.
And this is where it matters who competed in individual or not, because I think he would have the same first place team had they not been individual. Am I wrong or right in assuming that, Brian?
I didn't understand that. What's John saying?
John is saying that if there was no individual competition preceding it, he thinks I would pick the Canadian PB&J to win as he did, and he's right. That team, I think, on paper is the fittest. If you're gonna, if you just want to look at these three teams alone, I think it's fair to say that Adler, Vellner, Rich, if he's healthy, are top 10 in the world. That Cornway, Fikowski, Olsen, Mayer, and probably Chandler are next 10 in the world. So you're looking at, and then Tyler Christoffel is probably the weakest of this entire group of athletes, but he, even though he hasn't made the games, is probably one of the top 40 fittest in the world. So you have an incredible, grouping of athletes here. I think that as three individuals, Vellner, Fikowski, and Adler are probably the best, but I think that Vellner and Fikowski are going to be selling their souls on Friday to try to podium or win that competition, and that it's going to be very difficult for them both to rebound and have what it takes to go toe-to-toe with two teams who are coming in completely fresh.
Oh, God, if we can interview Vellner on Friday night, that would be amazing. He will be so articulate in his expression of how he feels in his body and what the next day is going to look like.
Even though we both picked them second, I think that the safe pick here is the Mayer Olsen Smith to win. They won it last year, and I know that this field is a lot better, but those guys are so good. They complement each other so well. They have incredible chemistry. They're not focused on anything else. They're going to do a specific training program for a couple of days leading into it. They're already down there. I think that it's fair to say they're the favorites, even though neither one of us picked them.
Who's going individual here out of this list? Is it just Vellner?
Vellner, Fikowski,
and Adler?
No. Not Adler. Adler's fresh.
No one else on these top four. In the fifth place, or one down, Dallin Pepper is. And then
but that's it here. The only people going individual in this this page right here, these top four are Patrick Vellner and Fikowski.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
And then the teams below that, Dallin Pepper is, Roman Krennikov is, Ricky Garrard is, the Invictus guys are not, Nick Matthew and Jonakoski are. So, it's about a third of the top 8 teams that are doing it.
God, I would have liked to have seen you guys rank these athletes in order of just fittest if they did just a competition on their own. These 12 guys, that'd be cool. Who wins in a competition, Tola or Tyler Christoffel?
Tyler Christoffel. Easy.
I agree.
It wouldn't be close.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you guys is it's really hard to be confident about these 3 picks. You guys are confident.
Don't forget, we don't know how good Sam Cornway is. Like, this guy could be top 10 in the world also. And he might be and if Rich isn't at 100%, he might be the best person on their team in this competition. So Tyler Christoffel has team experience. Like, he is a very strong third person on this team.
It's a much better team than they had last year, for sure.
What was the team last year?
It's the best team that Rich has ever competed on at Wodapolooza in terms of just men.
Last year, what did Mayhem finish 5th?
I think they were 5th last year, and I think
it was Luke Parker and Angelo DiCicco.
I think I've heard Rich say that Samuel is the best male team athlete he's ever competed with.
Well, just looking at that's a big statement, because
and he competed with Scott.
In 2020, they won with Scott Panchik. Obviously, he's won the games multiple times. They won Wodapolooza with Scott Panchik. There was no team competition that year. They probably would have won. He's won obviously with James Hobart at the games, he's at Wodapolooza. His teammates in the past have been Angelo and Luke, Scott when there was teams of 4, Dre Strom when there was teams of 4 with women, and then if you go back beyond that, Matt Hewitt and James Hobart back in 2016 where they tied for 4th. So this is a strong team that he's coming in with in terms of especially just men. And I guess he might have said that he doesn't think they're going to win, but I don't see any reason why they can't. I mean, look, I'm just looking at all the workouts and I'm like, they're going to be pretty solid across the board. And we've already talked about how several of these other top contending teams are clearly going to have one workout that's going to set them back. I think that they may not win any single event, but they might have the most consistent performances of anyone.
And you're not
Except
and,
the Panchik team, because they'll get 6th place in every event.
No, but you think about these guys. They can run, they can swim. None of them are super tall or super short. They're good on, burpees and snatches. They're good on rowing and wall balls. Like they're just good at everything.
You wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams took the top 3 is what you're saying. Mayhem, the boys, and the Canadian PB and J. Put them in any order you want. It's fair.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I
would agree with that too. I think he's selling Hopper's team short, but I would agree with that.
If you just slot Hopper's team up 1, considering that Khan doesn't seem to be coming in healthy, that's the team that I would say has the biggest chance to up. The Hoppers team is the one I say has the biggest chance to upset the podium. But those, in my mind, those are the top 3 teams.
Brian, where are you going at 9 a.m. today?
I have a meeting for Barbend.
Oh, all right. Is it exactly at 9?
Yeah.
Okay. Any closing words, John, that you'd like to say about this?
I'm just excited to watch it. I really, really am happy that they have team and individual at different days, because it makes each competition the center of attention. So it's much, much better for viewing, I think.
Brian?
I think that's well said. You won't be distracted by one or the other. You get 2 days to focus in on the individuals and really enjoy the entirety of that competition. And then we'll shift the focus to the teams. There's going to be a lot going on out there. It's like my main objective on the weekend being down there is to hopefully do my best to help the broadcast portray all of the incredible performances that are going on, individual and then team competitions. I am, holding out an opinion about how good of an idea I think this is from Wodapolooza, but so far all the signs are really positive.
This is better than watching porn. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.